Hi everyone, this is Claudine, Miss K Crafts, and I want to show you a steampunk clock that I made. I was so inspired by Miranda, Miss Liberty 25, the clock that she altered, and I absolutely loved it. And so this is what I made, and as you can see, it has lots and lots of gears, nuts and bolts and screws on it. This is what the clock looked like before I altered it. I took the original clock completely apart, lightly sanded it, and painted it black. And then I gathered up all my stamps that had a steampunk theme to it, and I stamped the tissue pattern paper and tore out the pieces and Mod Podged them all around. I used the metal tape embossing technique that you see on Rachel 113 and tore them up in strips and added those to the top of what I Mod Podged on the sides. On the top is a light bulb and a gear, and I cut a metal strip from the metal tape and punched holes in them to hold the light bulb down, and I used brads to make it look like nail heads, and I just glued that down. On the front I have a couple of wings, a small one and a larger one that I cut out with my silhouette. I embossed them and distressed them, and I have a Tim Holtz nib mounted right there in the middle. I used the Graphics 45 steampunk paper for the face of the clock. I cut the numbers out and embossed them. I used that metal mesh all around the inside of the edge of the clock. I added gears on the face of the clock and coiled up some copper wiring, and have a little spinner there on that gear. There's a little light bulb and a dice sitting on the bottom ledge there next to the number 6. And this is the left side of the face with more gears. For the top section of these gears, I glued all the gears on that wire mesh and arranged them the way that I wanted them, and I used E6000, and that way I could just mount the whole thing on the front face, and they were already arranged, and I use E6000 to do that also. The metal gears are from bead landing that my sister sent me, and the larger gears I cut out myself and embossed. This little banner was cut out of with that metal tape that I hand embossed. It says "Time waits for no one," and I used pinking shears to cut one side of it to make it look like a saw blade, and I just attached each end with screws. The key is from K Company, and I attached it with metal tape that I punched holes in and embossed, and used brads to attach each end to. I love the way my little gauge turned out. I had fun making it. I started out with a round wooden disc and then glued a little circle that I cut out of this bead landing package. I coiled up some copper wiring, added a spinner with a brad, and the top is the piece of bubble wrap that I saved, and I just added that on with some glossy accents. I added some flat back pearls on the outside edge and painted that part copper, and added a metal piece on top, coiled up some wire on the top that leads down to the little nut on the inside of the rim. To the left of the gauge is a couple of large gears that I cut and embossed. In the center is an upholstery tack, and there's a big number 9 that I edged with some gold. I freehand cut this little propeller, and I used the metal tape and I embossed it and cut it in pieces and just layered it on top. I added a little star washer in the center, and it's mounted on a eyelet screw which allows it to spin. and the eyelets mounted on a bracket on the front frame of the clock. And here's a side view of it. These little dangly things are some metal pieces that my sister sent me. Thank you, sister. And some more gears and nuts and bolts and screws. I was going to replace the clock hands with some vintage clock hands that I had, but it wouldn't fit, so I just stayed with the hands that came with the clock, and I'm okay with that. I hope you like my clock. I have a part 2 video of 2 little canvases that I made to go with this clock, so watch for it. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate all your comments. Have a nice day. Bye.